Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to give you guys my non-sponsored opinion, impressions, or review, whatever you want to call it, on Arknights Endfield after it's been out a little roughly over 6 days, coming up on a full week here. I have made it to Wuling, strictly free to play, and I just unlocked my first AIC factory over there in Wuling, just for a little bit of information for those of you keeping up with the Arknights Endfield playthrough. Now, I want to basically convey to the best of my capabilities what my experience has been like in terms of the game versus the gacha, the pressure or need to interact with the gacha garbage, such as the shop or pulling on characters in order for me to have a fun time through the game's progressional phase. I think this is an important question to answer for many of you guys. Now, a lot of people come to me for my opinions. They always want to know my thoughts and what I think of a game because apparently I've done a good job explaining these things. I'm here to tell you that I genuinely believe Arknights Endfield has had one of the best 1.0 experiences in my gacha tenure. And the reason I say that is because it's been more of a game as opposed to a gacha game. Most of the time when you play gacha games, and I want to explain this, you feel like you have to pull on a limited banner characters. You feel like you might have to spend some money just because they've done a shit job with the cohesion or balance of gacha and video game experience, right? But there's some caveats and nuance to this because a big part of Arknights Endfield in its gameplay loop is the factory system. And if you don't like that factory system and you're not playing it to enjoy that factory system, you're gonna just only get the experience of what you typically get in gacha games, which is wait on the new characters, play the combat, and you get bored of that team and you want to play with another team, and then so you want to pull on more characters, but that just turns into your typical gacha garbage loop of there's no real content in this game. It's surface level as fuck. The only thing we do is we wait on a story update, we play it through, and then we grab the newest character, we play them, we get bored, and we wait on the next update, right? That is typically the perpetual cycle of a gacha game. Arknights Endfield has given me an experience that separates itself from those literally because of its factory system. It's a massive time sink. It's a game in and of itself, trying to optimize it, trying to set things up, and trying to learn. The learn, I will just throw in as a honeymoon phase thing, because if you're learning, you're having a lot of fun. But once the learning ends, are you still going to be having fun, right? That's an important question to ask yourself too. And I think what Arknights Endfield, one big challenge it's going to face in the long run is how it can continue to keep that factory system fresh. Because if players get to a point where they're fully optimized and all of their shit is working the way it needs to be working, they're going to go, what the fuck do we do now? And now you're just no different from, any other gacha game. And so I think one big challenge for this game is going to be maintaining that freshness with the factory system. And the only way to do that is to breed innovation, to constantly build upon it and add more things to make it more interesting and continue that learning curve, which I don't know if they can do that. But I think with the new maps and the way that they've set this up, you have to start all over again when you go to brand new maps. Your factory is completely wiped, and there's even new map interactables and new factory mechanical intricacies that you have to learn in order to traverse, in order to build, and so on and so forth. And I think that's a good thing. I think that breeds a good replay loop. The next topic is, what does my account look like as a free-to-play player? How has the pressure been to pull on the limited characters because I feel like my characters suck? I'll be real, this has also been a great experience. The only thing that has sucked about this experience is not having enough resources to build up all the characters that I own, which is a problem that exists in all gacha games on launch. They just cuck you on the resources. I don't have the luxury to build up all these different characters. And I have unfortunately been using the exact same team the entirety of Arknights Endfield playthrough in my experience. But to be fair, I don't really care because the combat is not the main reason I'm playing the game, which is odd. That's very odd. I always play these games for the combat experience. It's now like a second-hand type of experience. Obviously, you have to interact with combat because it goes hand in hand with getting through the game, playing the modes, so on and so forth. But I am more so enjoying this factory system as the number one enjoyment. And then I'm using it obviously to develop my characters and then go test them out and see how they feel with the new gear on and stuff. And so the build system and the factory system are my main enjoyments. The combat's the next enjoyment, just to see how it's all playing out. And that I will always enjoy that aspect. To be honest, that's one of the cool things about gacha games. But when you think about this, I only have 4 characters, and 2 of the 4 characters are 4 stars. Not 4 stars in Wuwa and Genshin, 4 stars because this game has 6-star characters, which means they are the equivalent of a 3-star, which doesn't exist in Wuwa and Genshin. So you would think, at least I thought too, oh, these characters are definitely garbage. There's no way they're going to be good. They have been great. They have been carrying the shit out of my account all the way into Wuling. 2 4-star characters. And then the final character is a 5-star. So my team is unbelievably free to play friendly and relatable, should I say so myself. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is that I have already in the first week completely free to play with under, I guess, 40 hours. I feel like I'm probably at 30 hours, honestly. I'm probably at 30, 35, who knows? I've already got 3 teams locked and loaded, ready to go. The biggest problem is the resource shortage, the gacha garbage. I can't even build them up because then my first team, which is my main team, would suffer from getting developed further. And so that is a problem. You're 100% going to run into it. And if you try and Oprah Winfrey your account, give everybody the Oprah Winfrey treatment, you're going to suffer from that. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to happen. So that is one like bad thing. But other than that, the fact that I have so many teams already within the first week without spending a single penny is a real big W. Not only is that a W, check this out. I have gotten literally a signature weapon for Last Rite, and I didn't do a single pull on the limited banner. The only pulls I've done on the limited banner were the pulls they give you exclusive to the limited banner. You may not know this, so I'll explain it briefly. There's these pulls in the shop, and you can literally, and I do mean this, only use them towards oh, did I grab them all already? Yeah, you can only use these towards the character that's being promoted, and they expire when the banner expires, so you have to use them, right? Once again, gotcha garbage, right? But that said, I've been using them. They're free. I don't give a damn. I haven't used a lick of my currency up here. I have 74 pulls somewhere around there saved up, and I don't even feel the need to pull on the limited banner character. I would like to reinforce the reason I don't have a pressure or care in the world, I don't even care about how much I have up there, is because of the factory system and the power grid, the ever expanding power grid as you go through the maps. That has been such a time sink, such a focus and a commitment that it gets me into this mentality of not even knowing, like, I don't even care what's going on in the fucking limited banner chartered system. I don't care, because I'm like, I'm having my fun. And so that's why I said it's so important, guys, that people understand what they're playing this game for. If you aren't enjoying that factory system and that power grid expansion, you might not have a good time. It's probably just not the game for you. You know what I mean? If you do love that, it's good, because then you don't feel the need to actually care about the gacha system. You just have your fun with that aspect and you use whatever you got. This is something I wanted to point out. Look how many weapons I have in the first week of this gacha game. Bro, that is an insane amount of weapons. Coming from Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact when they first launched, first of all, they give you the most dog shit free-to-play options, and then you pull on the character banner, and you might get a weapon that you need, right? You might not. And then you got like a shortage of weapons. You also don't have as many characters to choose from. And then you're staring at the signature weapon banner that looks very fucking enticing because you don't have a lot of weapons. In this game, I have... first of all, getting a signature weapon on a character without even touching and pulling on the signature banner, the limited chartered banner, is insane to me. It's insane to me. The fact that I got a sig. Now there's a caveat. I won my 25%er on the quota exchange, but at the same time, I got a guaranteed 6-star weapon at 40 pulls. That is insane to guarantee a 6-star weapon at 40 pulls without, once again, spending money or interacting with the limited banner, because they gave me so many standard banner pulls. I also have 2 more 6-star weapons in boxes that I have yet to use. I looked at these. They look kind of mid. This looks like one of those 6-star boxes that really just gave you some bullshit, right? But this box is a fucking banger. Yeah, this box is a banger, and I'm gonna choose carefully. I'm eyeing the gun, and I'm eyeing this sword probably for that freaking electric girl. or I'm eyeing this for my spear girl that I played in the beta. That bitch is a banger. This girl right here, chat. I played this girl in the beta. Her, she is amazing, amazing character, and she's a 5-star. She's not even a 6-star. But basically, not getting off track, I have been relatively impressed, or not. I'm not gonna say impressed. I've been pleased with the free-to-play experience in terms of the utilities and all of the things that surround you getting through the game. You know what I mean? Because usually when you're using the scraps, you're having a tough time. I've been getting through this game clapping cheeks. You know, I got her signature weapon. She's got on a 5-star weapon right here. She's got on a 5-star weapon. I ended up getting that too. And she's got on a 5-star weapon too. Like, everybody's got a 5-star weapon on, boys. And so I haven't had any problems with building up my characters. And then the gear in this game is literally crafted through the factory, right? So people go, oh, the free-to-play experience has been horrible. I've had a complete different experience free-to-play wise. I've had an incredible free-to-play experience. Look at this too, by the way. This is also important to point out. When I come over here to this standard banner, I have done already, first of all, if we take into account the new horizon, which is the new banner that guarantees you a character, you know, I did full pity. They hoed me on that. I had to go all the way to 50 and I got my Ember, right? So that is 50 pulls or 40 pulls, right? Actually, yeah, because it stops at 8. 8 pulls, we go all the way down. Okay, so 5 times 8 is 40 pulls. Now, in the basic headhunting, we've done a shit ton here too, and they keep giving them in a lot of ways. Now, this is launch. We'll see if this slows down. You know it will. But that's 80 pulls. So we've done 120 standard pulls already. And from that 120 standard pulls, we've already been able to acquire 3 teams. We've just been playing just one of them. And so the free-to-play experience has been pretty solid, honestly. I got my weapons. I've got them built. They're actually synergistic. I got a standard banner character, not a limited banner character, and we're clapping cheeks. That has been pretty freaking nice. Another thing I almost forgot to talk about in terms of my free-to-play player experience is being able to unlock the mid portion of the battle pass by simply using orogeometry that you get playing through the game. And this is fascinating. This is like a cook. I've never seen this before. But you do this completely free, and then they give you back the resource you put in to purchase it. They give it back to you plus more. So you just get a free battle pass, not even at the expense of orogeometry. You get that back. On top of that, this mid portion, I thought, oh, maybe they give you shit rewards. No, they give you credits. They give you things you need to upgrade your weapons. They give you stamina to double up on currency. I'm stamina consumption. This is going to be for promoting operators to E3, E4, developing them higher. And then you even get another 6-star weapon selector, right? So you get another 6-star weapon selector on top of the ones we already got. People are not looking at this gacha game in terms of its free-to-play friendly nature as a whole picture. They're only looking at like one part of the picture. But when you look at the whole picture, there's actually a lot of stuff that is given to you in this game to set up your experience as you progress through the game as a relatively good free-to-play experience. There's definitely downsides. There's definitely the gacha garbage, but it's pretty damn sick. And even for budget players, you unlocked, which me, I'm a budget player. I'm free to play now, but I always eventually turn into the budget player. You buy that battle pass down there, and now you start getting the Arsenal tickets along with it as well. Not selling you guys, just telling you get even more resources that add into that budget to free to play experience, right? So I'm a big fan of this. I like what they're doing here. I think this is a hell of a cook. To summarize all of that up, I think a lot of people just heavily underestimated the entire picture of what a free to play experience can look like. A lot of people talk about the gacha system, the 50-50 and all of that, but they weren't talking about how many weapons you get just playing through the game. They weren't talking about how viable the 4-star characters are, as well as the 5-star characters, as well as how many you get of them in order to make up your one team. They also didn't talk about how you just can use one team to go through the entirety of 1.0. I think a lot of these factors go into a free-to-play player experience, but if all you zone in on is how many pulls you did on the chartered banner or how many pulls you're getting to start off with, then you're going to view that experience as a negative experience. I also would urge you to take into consideration too, if all you think about is just pulling on characters, this game is going to be garbage for you, right? But if you think about the factory system, the grid, and all the time sink that goes into that stuff, the preparation, as well as the enjoyment if you're having fun, that takes away from you even caring about pulling on characters and the gacha garbage and going to spend on the shops to try and develop people. Once again, I think a lot of people spend so much time not even playing the game for combat. They just playing it. Well, if you're not looking at Fluorite's ass and Last Right's ass, then you might be looking at Ember's ass. And if you're not looking at hers, then you're probably looking at Levitane's titties. And if you're not looking, I'm just seriously though, there's just a lot more to do in Arknights Endfield. Once again, because of that factory system. And that just doesn't exist in other gacha games. You do their story, you get off. It's pretty much it. Like, you do the story, you do the little in-game mode, you do the combat, and then you get off. Because there's nothing else to do. Which, speaking of which, it's time to get into that. The story. The story is abysmal. There's no other way to put it. The story has been a jargon, convoluted fest with weird tones and how they communicate with each other. It's been also a glaze fest with the main pro tag surprise. The main pro tag's important, like important to a cringe degree. Every time is Mr. Inman. Oh my, you know. But it's gotten to the point where in the first 3 hours of the experience, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not keeping up with this. It's not worth it. And then every so now and then, I would look at the dialogue, see what they're talking about. And it would just be the same gotcha garbage quality dialogue. And I was like, yeah, nah, I'm doing a good deed here. Just skipping the fuck out of the story. It's ass. Now, when we got to Wuling, I actually finally paid attention. And it was interesting at first. It was very interesting meeting the new guy. And he ended up being part of, you know, well, actually, I don't want to spoil for everyone. But that part was actually very interesting. Immediately, like, I was engaged in it. I also liked meeting the new girl. And I loved her personality and such. But it still was like that super mid gotcha storytelling for me personally. I can only speak for myself. At the end of the day, I think they've got a lot to prove in terms of taking the story serious. They need to do a better job with their world building and how it functions. They need to do a better job with the communication and English voice acting, not sounding like it's just recorded lines or sounding like Cartoon Network. They've got some work. They do. They've got a lot of work to do with this story, and honestly, in many different facets. And so for me, I thought the story was pretty damn ass. It picks up in Wuling, as people have said, but picking up from where it was isn't really saying much either. That's my best way to go at it with that. Now, I want to make sure we're perfectly clear here. That is different from lore, right? I actually hear from a lot of people that there's some lore in this game in terms of reading the items so that you can understand how things function and such, has actually been pretty damn good. And the lore in and of itself for Arknights tends to be very enjoyable for a lot of lore enjoyers. But that isn't the storytelling experience. That isn't what you're experiencing as you're going through the story. So that's worth pointing out, though. This next segment, I was getting ready to cook a mode, but then I logged in and saw this. And this just goes into the free-to-play experience. So you get Ardelia, and then they give you the signature weapon for her, too. Fucking insane, bro. Like the launch, like weapons, bro, you just can't argue it. Okay, I got 2 more of those pulls too. You know what? Just because we're making this video, I might as well try and use those 2. Those are the 2 free pulls I told you. You are forced to use them on this banner. I might as well do it while I'm making this video. Maybe I get lucky on one of them, right? Maybe I don't. But I tell you what, we're going to use them and use this advantage. Watch this. It's going to turn red. Okay, yeah, this game's trash. Ignore everything I said in this review. This game is a whole bag of shit. Now, what I wanted to talk to y'all about was one of these modes is an in-game mode. Oh my God, it's this. Dude, this mode, I'm just gonna flat out say it. This is one of the most dog shit modes I've ever played. It is. This mode gives you really good rewards too, as you can see. I don't know if I don't know if this is weekly or what, or monthly, but you get some good stuff. Like you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 standard pulls, and you get 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 or 2,000 ore barrel, which is 4 pulls. And then you get a shit ton of resources. But the mode, my God, guys, the way it works is just, it's just, I can't, man. I put a couple of these in here. So you go in here, and I just want to explain it briefly. And you have to go and explore and find these little red things that keep a door locked. And then once you find all 4 of them, the door unlocks. But they have like this corrosive element to the mode. And it's a meter. And the more you step, as soon as you step outside of your little safe zone, this meter goes up. And I guess you just start getting corrosive, or I don't know the correct term. But when you step out of this, let me just show it to you. As soon as I step out, look, you see this over here. It starts filling up. When that hits 600, you get kicked out of the mode. I don't know if that sounds cool to you, if it sounds funny or not. Let me just tell you, you constantly feel like you're just rushing. You're just rushing and you're trying to find stuff. And then these little like color coded things right here, they got bags and shit. You pick them up and then your bag storage gets full. And then you're like, okay, what the fuck am I doing with that? I don't even know why I'm picking them up, really, to be honest. I just feel like this was the worst concoction of a mode, bro. Like, this does not feel good at all. And please comment down below. You let me know if you think I'm wrong. If you think if I'm the odd man out here, holy fuck, bro, then I'm in the wrong space. Because when you're doing this, bro, this shit fills up so fast, and this mode is repetitive. You have to do it several times, like 8-10 times, just to fill up all your meter. So just imagine you constantly doing this. There was one time I was at the boss, fighting the boss, and this hit 600, kicked me out of the boss fight. Like, I went over here, there was a boss, I fought him, he was almost dead. This shit hit 600 and kicked me out. I had to go all the way back, fight the boss again, and you have to fight the boss before this fills up and kicks you out again. Then you're exploring, you're trying to find these little red things around the map to unlock a door. You find one or two, it hits 600, you get kicked out. Now you got to start off where you left off, but you start back here again. I'm just like, bro, what is the point? Literally just remove this. You remove this, the mode ain't that bad. But right as of now, I don't know what they're cooking. I don't know what the fuck they're cooking with this mode. It is atrocious. And on that note, that's kind of what I meant when I said I wanted to do like a review, kind of talking about all my sentiments. This is all in the first week, right? In the first week, I've had a great free-to-play player experience. I've had a phenomenal exceeded expectations experience with the factory system and the power grid expanding. That's completely new to me. So I'm having a new player's factory experience. Some of y'all might be factory veterans, and you're like, yeah, no, this shit ain't nothing, bro. You should play this game. I can only speak for myself, right? I've had a great experience with the game. I don't like the mint picking aspect, and what I mean by that, to ascend your characters, you have to go, and I guess we'll talk about that a little bit too before we outro out. To ascend your characters, you have to go around the map and find mushrooms and little like materials, literally mint picking, and then you can use those to level up your characters. I don't like that. I would literally much rather you give me a mode to where I do the mode for stamina to get the mats to level my character up like every other gacha game. Because the thing is, they tried to do it in a way to where it's like, I guess it's different, but it's just fucking annoying. There's no other way to put it. And in here, I like what they're cooking up in here, because it's like, oh, so I can evolve my little spaceship, and then my spaceship allows me to grow some of those materials that I don't want to go out in the wild and fucking find, but I have to. It allows me to grow those and then come in here and collect them. But then you come in here and collect them, and it's 3 and 1 and 6 and 1. I'm like, what the fuck I'm gonna do with this? You need like 5 of its evolution just to level the character up. And if you want to level your whole account up, bro, this is just booty, right? It's not enough. Now, of course, if I upgrade it, it might get better and better, right? We still got to unlock more cabin. And so maybe I'm jumping the curve. Maybe this gets a bit better and gives you a bit more, and it's not so bad. But all in all, it does sound like more work to level up your characters. And maybe in that aspect, it's because it's trying to point you potentially to a shop or something. I don't fucking know. It could be some gacha garbage disguised. They do things like that are like calculated in terms of insufferable, just so you can go to the shop and buy something. That's possible. I do like this. I love the foundation of this ship just doing this for you. I don't like going out in the wild to find this because it's micromanaging, and I need it to level up my characters. I don't like that. I think we need a bit more resources to level up our roster. I think the whole notion of you can't level up your whole roster because this is a gacha game needs to fucking die in a ditch. Okay, let me level up my entire goddamn roster. You'll actually make more money. I guarantee you will, because people will be using a lot more teams and having a lot more fun, which will point to them spending more money. I guarantee it'll happen. Like this whole, I got all these characters, but I can't level them up. I just can't with that. Apart from those like criticisms though, I think Arknights Endfield has a very solid game on its hands. I think they do. The factory system blew my mind. I never expected that shit to like impact it that much. I didn't go that hard on it in the beta. And so I didn't know the depth of what it can bring in terms of a packaged game. I know that now. The powering grid, setting up relay towers and then zip lining. I like that. I don't like putting a pylon next to the zip line. I think that's the dumbest shit ever. I don't think I should have to power a fucking zip line, bro. Just let me zip. Stop making me put pylons next to zip lines. another gripe. But now the complaints are coming out. Now that I'm like recollecting some things. The game's far from perfect, right? It is. But I've had a 8 to 8.5 out of 10 experience with this launch. I have. Apart from its flaws, you know, the gacha garbage, I told you guys, I'm never going to sit here and try and convince you dog shit is better than dog shit. To me, I think that is just a lack of intelligence. It's like, okay, yeah, we can sit here and talk about how dog shit is better than dog shit, but at the end of the day, you're still eating shit. But apart from that, I think the game's got good bones. I do. I think the game's got great bones. I am impressed because I didn't think I was going to play this game for long. I thought, play it on the launch, probably fuck off after that. I'm now fully committed. It's going into the wheel. It is. This was a non-sponsored impressions review. I wanted to get this out so that people know how I feel about the game. In short, I think you will love it if you like the factory system. You've heard this from other people. You've heard it from me. You've heard it from a lot of people. It is true. If you don't like the factory system, if you don't like the power grid dynamic, I don't think this game's going to be for you, man. I think if you take those out of the game, then you just got a gacha game where you just pull on the characters, play the characters, get off the fucking game, right? But if you take out the pull on the banner and pull on the characters, if you even take out the combat, I'd still play the game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd still play the game. And I think that's an important like dichotomy and duality, if you will, of perspective versus perception, right? That's going to wrap it up. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.